feed, and I'm wanting to look at things that are going to inspire me today. Yesterday I was talking to a really good friend of mine, and she was just talking about, she's so smart and so sweet and so smart, but she was just talking about death, and I'm like, ho. I had to tell her, like, you can't be, just because everybody around you dying don't mean that you about to kick the bucket. And she was like, I told my kids I want my casket. I said, ho, I don't want to hear it. I don't even want to think it into existence. I said, you don't know what God got planned for you. You thinking that you may die like 2-3 weeks from now, and he may have you live until 90 some years old. Now live all your children. Stop that now. Like, you can't do that. And nowadays I'm so on like the consciousness, my mind, and the things that I think, I can't be thinking about stuff like that or even entertaining it. So anywho, I was um I was listening, not even listening. I literally was just scrolling through some YouTube stuff, to see what's going on. And I saw a young lady's post about how men can turn women ugly. And I started laughing like, y'all come up with the most ridiculous things. And then I said, oh, there's some truth to that. As a matter of fact, that is very true. A bad man can turn a beautiful woman into an ugly woman. I know family members, they used to be so sweet, so kind, so fun. They used to be like so like, you invited them to the party because you're gonna have fun. They used to be so cool to be with. And the minute they started dating this particular man or this individual, she changed. She turned into a freaking banshee, man. And the only thing that I know that happened to cause this change is because of the man you used to deal with. You done turned into a straight bitch, wicked man. Like, I'm not gonna say wicked, but you suffering from PTSD, but you ain't even been to war, or you ain't no police officer or nothing. You've been messing with the wrong joker, and he done turned you oogly. He done turned you bitter. And there's some men out here too that don't care 2 cents in a nickel about a woman, because the woman that he used to date, she treated him awful. And so now he got this I could care less syndrome, and just straight rocking chicks left and right, just carrying him. But when I first saw this video, I didn't even read all of it. I just saw it and I was just like, what are you talking about? Men can look, hold on. This person's driving too close. Like, what are you talking about? And then I started laughing, and literally I thought about that individual, and I said, "Oh, there's some truth to this." Not even that. I got another person where, true story, with my sister, my older sister. She married a man, and she used to be just a sweet, pretty, gorgeous. She's only a year older than me. She married a man damn near older than, excuse my mouth, older than our father, and she's homeless out on the wait, you're too close, you're too close. You either go over there or get back. Something's wrong with these people. So she married a man, and now she's homeless out on the streets. Like, literally, he she allowed him to turn her whole life, her whole existence, her whole identity is just to the streets now. She literally live in the streets. No, I'm talking about cart, tent, and all, like laying on the side. And when I look back at her life, it was because of the man that she was dealing with. I have seen virtuous women that had glows around them, and the minute they got with a dude, their glows just went out the window. Like they don't have that glow no more. That you better stop. You better stop and go over. You're too close. People want to get in accidents today. Because I'm telling you right now, you hit me, I'm going to make sure I fly out the window, and somebody going to be paying for everything. What are people letting their grandkids drive? I hope y'all don't be driving all fast. Like people be like, I'm in the rush to go nowhere, and we all like you doing 200 miles an hour, and we all get to the same red light, and I'm looking at you like, really, you did all of that for nothing? You did all of that for nothing. So anyway, so yes, a man can literally make a woman ugly. He can like literally mess her entire self up off of the relationship she had with him. She can become bitter if it's a bad man, or she can become beautiful if it's a good man. If it's a good man and he treat her good, I mean, you know the difference. I think about my cats, my two boss cats that stay in the house. They boss cats. Wake me up in the morning like our bowls are empty. My cats are boss cats. They be like meow, and then Faith gotta take her tail and go and she hits the door like, I demand your attention now. Get your hind pots downstairs and put some food in our bowls. They were like, they remind me of that daggone lady that went before the judge in the Bible, and she kept irritating the daggone judge, asking for justice. And the judge went ahead and granted it to her because he was like, she gonna irritate the mess out of me. So I mean, I'm just saying that verbatim, but that's why Jesus tell us that we ought to we go before the Lord and never stop. Just keep going. You know what I mean? So my cats be doing that. I be like, be putting food in their bowls. But anyway, I was thinking about my cats, and I was like, man, these some good looking cats. Like I came downstairs yesterday. One of them laying on a dag on this is really nice, beautiful chair, and the cushion, she's curled up. Looked at me like, what are you doing up? And the other one, Thomasina, is laid on the Victorian white couch. And I'm looking at my cats like, who do y'all think y'all are? And they're looking at me like, why are you even up at this time? And I thought about the cats that are out there in the streets. And I said to myself, these cats are well grown and put together. See, those are good cats that are basically loved. You know, they're loved. And so these cats said they're looking good. And so I realized, this is me thinking. I'm thinking like, if my cats were in the streets, man, y'all be torn up the bits. Y'all be looking raggedy as I don't know what. So if you have an owner or somebody with you that love you, you'll see that love generate from that person's personality, just everything about them. But when you're with somebody who can't stand you, or like dragging you through the ringer, you'll see it. It's going to manifest. And if you're the type of person that fight back and you argue and you back and forth dealing with drama, you'll see it. You'll see it manifested in your personality. You're always argumentative. You're always angry. Um, you always think, you always trying to fight when you don't even need to. And that's because the person you were with, you did that so much that now that you're not with that person, you done took on some traits, and you didn't gain bad traits. You didn't detox yourself from what you went through. And now you walking around with the bald face because of the man you used to deal with. He did this and he did that and he wouldn't this and he wouldn't that, and nah. You go to the store trying to get something, and somebody's explaining something to you, nah, this and you already ready to argue. And you know why? Because you're so used to arguing, because the person that you were just with, or some of y'all actually live with a demon. And people look at you and be like, man, you used to be different back in the day. Let me tell you something in life. This is how you know if a person is elevating you, is if it is literally making you better. Because if you came out on the other end worse than what you were before you went in, then honey, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I know women who have completely changed because of the man that they used to be with. And I don't give a dag on what anybody say. They can go back and be like, Betty used to be this and used to be that. I used to smoke. I used to drink. I was rolling on skates with no brakes. I was just cursing people out left or right. When my husband left, yes, I went through a hard time. I had to pick myself up, and I just started grinding. But nobody can ever say that since he divorced you, you turned out to be worse. Nobody can say that since he put you away, gave you the boot, the middle finger, got rid of you. Nobody can say, oh gosh, she looks a hot mess. She just Nobody can say that. I had one cousin that tried to say something slick out her mouth, like, and in other words, I go bipolar. I'm like this, I'm like that. But I'm like, the only reason why you say that is because no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not even gonna say that on camera. I'm not even gonna say that on camera. See, some people look at me and be thinking like, why didn't I ever go back out there and start sleeping around and start dating and stuff like that? And they know my testimony, but they not trying to hear that. They waiting for the old me to come around, but the old me is gone. She ain't coming no time soon. She's not coming back. That old me is gone. The old man, no. No, 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 no. I'm not letting anyone come in my life and to cause ruin and to try to break me down and leave a mark of bitterness on me. That's not ever happening. Okay. All right. It was sadness and gloomness and oh, woe is me and woe is my. What am I going to do? I'm a woman. Oh. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not entertaining that. And when I go back into the archives, looking at my old videos that I put out there, that's not me. That's completely not me. That's not the woman that I am now. And I thank God I graduated from that. And I remember my mom saying this. If it wasn't for the things that she went through with my dad, she wouldn't even be the woman that she is today. That's true. That's true. Sometimes you could be with somebody and honey, they are not for you. They're not good for you. And most people don't want to hear that. Most people be like, what do you mean? We've been together for years. Yeah, for years, you ain't been happy. For years, you've been stuck, stagnant, not growing. For years, you have been like, you know, and then there are those who went through it and literally you can always tell when a woman is hurt. I think everybody got a story. Everybody got a testimony of what they went through. I was talking to my really good friend yesterday, and she was giving me testimonies of things that she went through in her younger years when she was a little kid, and how she had to learn how to cook for her brothers and sisters. It was a lot. It was traumatic. And I told her, I said, "We're looking at you now. I would have never thought you would have went through any of those things because you brought up all your children, which they all went to college. They're all in college. They're all productive. They're out there with jobs and stuff." I'm like, you did really good, considering that you came from those places. There are a lot of people that came from nothing and made something of themselves and didn't allow their current circumstances to dictate their futures. But it's a lot of people that literally they have this whole thing where because you were with that man, that individual, now you have completely changed your makeup for worse instead of changing your makeup for good. So I say this in a nutshell is that if you find yourself changing for the worst, If you find yourself changing for the worst and you find yourself bitter or having outbursts, or you just turned into a straight monster, you need to go back inside yourself. You need to, matter of fact, you need to dig inside of your temple and snatch out all them unclean spirits that is causing you to become better. And the spirit of anger, unforgiveness, you need to get rid of them. You need to do a reset, okay? You really do. Because some people, I knew women that were just bitter. Every time they went somewhere, it was like never having a good time because you are always bitter, 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 bitter. And then, like, I'm not perfect, but I've learned a lot of things in my 20s that in my 40s I'm just not going to do. It's certain things that I look out for at certain times. No, I'm in the house. I'm not in the streets. I'm not going to be out here because, the most crime that's committed is at nighttime. And the Bible warns about, outside in the dark, because evil try to hide itself. Evil hides itself in the dark. That's why more crimes are committed at night. I stay my hot pots in the house. So it's certain things that I have learned at this age that I'm like, I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole. But I've also learned too is that your peace is very sacred. And I don't care if they're family, if they're toxic and they're in your face, in your ear, you got to get rid of them. I don't care if it's a mama, sister, grandmother, father, cousin, uncle, aunt, friend, best friend, BFF from back in the day, friend. Some people are just there for a certain season and the seasons change. Okay. You left them in spring and it's winter, but spring gonna come back around again. They out there somewhere. You can pray for people and go. You don't have to be subjected to people and their standards of life when it's basically messing up your happiness. You can't. So let me get back to the subject. Certain men, that if you date a man and he is literally taking the joy and sucking the joy, or purposely trying to make hell on you, and you're trying to smile, and if he's purposely trying to do that, get rid of him. Get rid of him. It's like you wearing contact lenses and daggone wear these contact lenses. You only wearing them for the color of your eyes. And daggone wear these things are hurting your eyeballs. They're hurting. They're clouding your eyes up. They could cause an infection. Take those daggone contact lenses out of your eyes and throw them in the trash, okay? And start seeing again. Stop it. Don't do this to yourself. You know that when you go around your mama-in-law, she gonna have something snarky, something to say. Don't go around it. You ain't got to. You're not obligated. You ain't obligated. Let me tell you something about people. God has given everybody a choice of how they want to live their life, including worshiping him. That's why he gives man free will, even though he created man. Every man has a right to live his own life accordingly the way that they want to live. The wise man live it accordingly how God wants us to live and apply those to their life, and you will live a fruitful life. I'm not sitting up here saying that you're not going to deal with certain issues, but the testimonies are when you come out of those issues. But some of y'all entertain people in your circle that is literally dragging you down, and then you wonder why. And then you have the powers to be, the evil and the principalities of this world that want to keep you distracted and have your mind focused on so much drama, you can't even see past that to see the joy and the peace that's all around you. And people come into your face and your life, and that's why certain doors and certain windows, I make sure they're closed. If I can see from a mile away, this man is a distraction. This man has come, the devil has sent this man to come around me to be a distraction, because I know this is not of God. I will go to the Father and ask God I've asked God to remove people out of my life. People don't even realize it. They don't even realize that I've prayed them away. They don't. I'm like, Father, please remove this person. Please send them away. Please, Lord, I really don't want this person around me. Father, I ask you to lead me not into temptation, but deliver me from the evil one. Because the evil one will come with some temptation just so something can be attached to you so he can suck the happiness out of you. Just suck the happiness out of you. Look at that little dog. Y'all like when little dogs be walking. Their little legs, their little hind legs be like, yeah. So he look like he needs some water. She got a little hornets on him. But some people would suck. They would drain you. They would drain. I remember years ago, I used to have a friend, and all she talked about was woe is 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 me. Woe is me. Woe is woe is woe is. And I'm like, Dad, gone it, girl. If you don't get it together, and that's because she was dealing with this dude at the time, and he was no good, and it took us some years to get him out of her system. Years. I remember one time we went to some store, and she bought herself a stack of nail polish, and we're grown women. She bought her some nail polishes, and they were only like $5.99, like those pack of nail polishes. And she was like, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, that felt so good to buy myself something finally. That felt so good. And I was like, Dad, he had you like that. The man you was dealing with had you to the point you couldn't even buy little trinkets for yourself. He had her so bad to the point that she was out in the streets asking for stuff. And we, her friends, we was in shock. Like, what do you mean? Of course, she jumped back from that. She realized the freaking leech that was on her was trying to suck her dry. And then she jumped back from that. But certain men or women, you got to ask yourself this question: were you sent here by God or from the devil? What you come here for? What you here for, boy? What you come here for? To take my joy, my peace, my prosperity, my leveling up? You came to set me back? Hmm? I was listening to something that was very interesting. Y'all might have to get off of this. Remember, I was telling you yesterday how the girl was like, "Oh, the guy looked at my post," and then she started to like think he cares. He cares. There was a guy who said that he knew a guy who literally texted this girl or this young lady and was like, "What are you doing this weekend?" And she was like, "I'm not doing anything." And so what he did was he purposely texted on Friday, and he did not text back at all Saturday and Sunday because he wanted her to think about him the whole time. And the guy says, "You did?" He said, "Yeah, I did that, so she can think about me the whole time." That's a manipulation move. Like, who told you that? I mean, really, I want y'all to really think about it. Do you think that the Lord said, what I want you to do is I want you to text Sarah, the one that I created and I love very much, and I want you to be manipulative to her and ask her what she's doing. And when she says nothing, I want you to just not answer. I want you to just ghost her for 2 days and then follow up with her on Monday and have her think about you the whole time. Manipulate her. Do you think that God does that to us? When we pray to God, God hears us and He answers our prayers. He is there. He draws close and near to us. Do you think God would do that, or do you think that the devil told him to do that? That's why y'all gotta watch the certain people that y'all bring in y'all lives and in y'all circles, man. Because some of these people are really sent from the enemy to suck you dry and take away the blessings that God has given you. suck you dry and take away the blessings that God has given you. That's why you got to know that your time is precious, because no man knows the hour of his own death. So you can't be sitting up here wasting time and casting your pearls before these swines, man, because they don't care and they will trample on them. You can't be always, I'm going to be kind, or I'm going to try to save this person, or try to turn this person around. I can make him into a new man. No, baby. The only person that can do that is Jesus. And he has to reach out for that. He has to, the redemption is right there, but he has to want it. Okay? He has to want it. You can't change nobody. Okay? You can change a baby's diapers, but you can't change nobody. So the best person that you can work on is you. And if you're with somebody and they are changing you for the worst, yes, a man can turn a woman ugly. He can turn her ugly. You can be like, man, I remember, man, she used to have the best threads. She used to be so fly back in the day. I was like, Dad, she was doing it up, man. The minute she got with this dude, like, look at her. She got missing teeth and stuff. She done lost all that daggone weight. Golly. Make you don't even want to be in a relationship after what the heck she went through. That dude did her dirty. Some people will come around and they'll see everything you got going on for you, and they'll try to hop on and lay claim, and then try to, people are users. People are users. People are users. So not all people, but y'all know what I'm saying. Manipulators are users, but they're just doing their job. They're just doing their jobs. They're being manipulators. They're just doing what they need to do, tricking you, fooling you, trying to tell you something. Excuse me, you guys. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. Don't let people use you, man. Don't do it. Don't let people drag you into the pits. I'm trying to tell you, I've seen, like I said, I got a sister. Me and my sister, we are a year apart. We are a year apart. And hurt her so much, she gave up on life. She left all her children just to live in the streets. And as much as you try to give her help, she's manifested into something else. She had became something else. People can change for the better, the greater, the good, or they can turn for the worst. Okay? And you do become what you think about. You become who you hang with. You got to be careful from with the company you keep, including, and the company you keep is not just the man you laying down with. I mean, it's not just the friends you around with, it's the man you laying down with or the woman you laying down with. Them people can change you if they always in the drama. I seen this young girl, she got to be in her 20s. That baby got her face so balled up. And I'm like, you've been dealing with that knucklehead boyfriend of yours that ain't paying out one daggone bill. And you walking around here looking like you almost 50 years old and you ever been a 20. You ever been a 20. Some people would drain you, use you, and manipulate you just to keep you on their finger. They'll pick you up when they love you, and then they'll wait for it, and they'll drop you down and be like, oh, that's because you didn't do this. They know they hurt you, and then they'll pick you up again, and they'll love you, and they'll pick a date. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop her on her head, February the 15th. Boom. Oh, that's because you did this, that, and the third. Valentine's Day come around, they'll pick you up again. You gotta understand when people are literally trying to hurt you and manipulate you. That's why I be like, and then people be wondering, why isn't Mona the same? Because Ramona, look, I went through the ringer back in the day. I had fiancés, boyfriends, men that I loved. You know, I was living that crazy life. Thought, married, settled down, gave somebody my all, put my guard down, and he still knocked the chick out. I'm not doing those things no more. And I don't feel like If he's not happy, I'm not happy. No, 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 no. I lost weight. I was I was so naive. What do you mean you're leaving us? We're your family. Now I'm like, let me tell you some real type stuff. The only person that's holding me back will be me, and I ain't holding me back because I got things to do. But I pick and choose who will be in my life, and I don't care if we blood. I don't care if we've been knowing each other for years. I don't care if I married you. I am not going to allow nobody to come up in my face and try to suck the virtue out of me, try to suck the goodness out of me, and then when they all filled up and they ate real good and they got all they got, they're on to the next thing popping. Or people come around and hurt your feelings, and a narcissistic, and I know narcissistic family members hurt you to your core, curse you out in front of your kids, make you cry, then turn around. You gonna do my taxes this year? Huh? You gonna apologize? Oh, you've been doing stuff like that. You've been doing stuff like that. And you've been doing it with guys out here. So it manifested into you so much. You started doing it to your own family members. And I realized, man, I was born in this world by myself. And I'm going to leave out by myself. So I don't need to I can still eat really good at a long, beautiful table that I really want, which is that Magnolia Manor by Liberty Furniture that I'm going to get. I can eat very nice. And I can eat very nice with me and my daughter. I'm fine with that. But what I'm not going to do is entertain foolishness and people that don't know how to act. If I treat you respect, I expect the same thing. So be very careful of the man that you're dealing with, or the boyfriend that you're dealing with that's trying to. There are people out here that are really cunning, and they will manipulate the mess out of you. And some of you know it. And the question is, why do you allow it? And if you think that you're worth allowing people to manipulate you and lie to you because you think one day they'll turn, I got news for you. You're the fool. You're the fool. Because you know it. And I know somebody told me, Mona, God said never call somebody fools. Okay, excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry for calling you a fool. But I will say this, is that God made man in the image of him. And out of man, he created a female. And man named her, what did Adam name her? Woman, okay? So we are created under the man, which was made in the image of God. And God is a jealous God, okay? And God is a God, too. When you keep on testing him, he going to leave you like he left the Israelites. He left them in the wilderness for 40 years. Roaming around. He has enough where he's just like, you know what, you ain't gonna change. Hell you go. Depart from me. And we're made in his image. No, not to judge people, but at some point in time when we realize that people ain't right, you gotta back away from it and just say, you know what, depart from me, because I don't know you. Never did. Never did. Anyway, y'all have a blessed day today.